Good afternoon, high school football parents, and I would like to welcome you to Baldwin Wallace University's informational session on how to improve athletic performance. The first thing we'll talk about today is the use of creatine monohydrate. Although we don't like to see a lot of supplementation used with our athletes, we do see an increasing number of them using creatine today. So today I'm going to briefly educate you on creatine monohydrate and what it is and how it works, since we are seeing more of our young athletes use this supplement. One common question is, what are the mechanisms of creatine? How does it work? Well, the way that it works is, through creatine supplementation, we have an increase in phosphocreatine stores. With that increase in phosphocreatine stores, you have an increase in the phosphocreatine that occupies that space. And with that increase in phosphocreatine that occupies that space, we have more phosphocreatine to convert ADP back to ATP, which is used for energy in our muscles, through muscle contraction. So we see an increase in energy. Another question would be, so if athletes know that they're not supposed to be using supplements, why take creatine? A good answer to that would be, as previously mentioned, that you see an increase in energy due to the increase in phosphocreatines that are in the phosphocreatine stores that convert ADP back to ATP that we can use for energy in our muscles. We also see a faster recovery time. So the athletes that are taking creatine monohydrates are recovering faster from their workouts. So that's a big plus, and that's probably one of the biggest reasons why our athletes are using them, for increase in energy and a faster recovery time. So another common question is, okay, so what are the guidelines for creatine intake? For creatine loading supplementation, you would want to start out with about 20 grams a day, and you will want to do this for about 5 to 7 days. And after that time period, you can maintain 3 to 5 grams a day. But for the average person, you only need like 2 or 3 grams per day, because you naturally make it in the body already. Another common question people may ask is, is there any evidence? What is the evidence shown that this really works? And as previously mentioned before, we see this increase in energy and we see this faster recovery time. However, we only see this in our athletes that use the creatine phosphate system. These athletes are performing high intensity work for a duration of time less than 2 minutes. So these are our sprinters, our swimmers, but these are not our cross-country runners, our marathon runners. This system really wouldn't work, because then you're using glycolysis and other systems, but you're not mainly using this creatine phosphate system. So this creatine supplementation would pretty much only benefit those athletes that are using that system. And like I said before, those will be the athletes that are performing high intensity, less than 2 minutes. Sprinters, weightlifters, swimmers, stuff like that. Potential problems with creatine supplementation. There isn't a lot, and the few that are there, they aren't like life-threatening, but you will have some gastrointestinal distress. You also will have an increase in body mass, but this is due to water retention. And sometimes a lot of athletes or people in general can get it mixed up. They think that they're actually gaining muscle mass or something, but it's really like the water weight that they're retaining. And another thing is the low urine production, which probably isn't a bad thing for most people, but you can kind of tell that your body is keeping that water because it's dehydrated, so that might be a good sign. So that is a brief talk about creatine monohydrate. We don't encourage our athletes to use this supplement, but we see that they're using it, and we see some benefits, and we see others don't have a benefit for it, but this is not justifying that the people who have the benefits should continue to use it, or everyone should try it to see, because as I said before, we don't encourage the use of supplements. So my name is Isaiah Kimmy, and that was my brief educational talk on creatine monohydrate, and you take care and you have a great day. Thank